Bread is beautifully simple. In its most basic form, it is a food that has sustained civilizations for millennia, a universal staple found on tables across the globe. But this simplicity is deceptive. The journey from a few humble ingredients to a perfect loaf is a masterful blend of science and art. At its core, it begins with just 4 elements. First, flour, which provides the protein that will form the bread's structure. Then water, the lifeblood that hydrates the flour and activates the yeast. Salt, which not only adds flavor but also crucially controls the fermentation process. And finally, yeast, the living organism that breathes life into the dough, making it rise. From these few things, a skilled baker can create something truly special. A proper loaf has a crisp, crackling crust, rich in color and texture. Inside, it reveals a soft, open crumb, full of complex flavor developed through careful fermentation. It feels warm and brings an undeniable sense of comfort. But how do you deliver this authentic experience at scale? A modern artisan bread factory has a clear mission: to bring this exact feeling to as many people as possible, combining old-world craft with new technology. The challenge is immense, making brilliant bread consistently and safely, batch after batch, without losing that handcrafted soul. This journey from the factory floor to your table is a fascinating one. It is a story of balance, a delicate dance between precise, tireless machines that handle immense volumes and the skilled, knowing touch of a baker whose senses guide the final product. In this series, we will walk through this entire process. We will explore the science behind each stage, from selecting the right flour to the final bake. We will see how a simple pile of ingredients transforms into a golden, delicious loaf of bread. This is the story of modern artisan baking. To create exceptional bread, we must first source exceptional ingredients. This chapter explores how a large-scale bakery selects, tests, and manages its core raw materials, flour, water, salt, and leavening, to build a foundation of quality and consistency. The process begins by forging strong relationships with trusted suppliers who can guarantee not just quality, but consistency and full traceability for every batch. The foundation of any great bread is the flour. Its proteins, when hydrated, form an elastic network called gluten, which gives dough its structure and allows it to rise. For most artisan breads, the bakery sources strong bread flour with a protein content between 11 and 14%. This high protein level is essential for developing a robust gluten structure, creating a chewy, open crumb. A strong white bread flour might be chosen for a classic sourdough, while a stone-ground wholemeal flour containing the bran and germ lends a deeper flavor to a country loaf. To meet production demands, flour arrives in enormous quantities, often pumped pneumatically from tankers directly into climate-controlled silos that protect it from humidity and pests. Water is the second crucial ingredient. It hydrates the flour to begin gluten development, but its most critical function is temperature control. The water is filtered and its temperature is precisely managed to achieve a consistent final dough temperature, typically around 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This ensures fermentation begins at a predictable, optimal rate. Salt, used at a precise ratio of 1.8 to 2.2% of the total flour weight, does more than add flavor. It tightens the gluten network, improving the dough's structure, and moderates yeast activity for a controlled, even fermentation. Finally, the leavening agent. This is either a reliable commercial yeast or a living sourdough starter, a complex ecosystem of wild yeasts and bacteria that imparts a unique, tangy character to the bread. Every delivery undergoes strict quality control checks. Technicians test flour for its exact protein and moisture content to ensure it matches the specification. Every bag and silo is assigned a lot number, allowing for complete traceability from the supplier to the finished product. Getting this stage right builds an unbreakable foundation for everything that follows. Without exceptional ingredients, all the skill and technology in the world cannot craft a truly great loaf of bread. Once the ingredients are cleared for production, the next stage is mixing. This is where the science of baking truly begins, transforming simple raw materials into a living dough. It's a process far more complex than simply combining ingredients. It's about controlled hydration and the critical development of structure. The core components are flour, water, salt, and a leavening agent like yeast. Each is measured precisely by weight, not volume, for absolute consistency. The choice of flour is paramount. A strong bread flour with a protein content between 11 and 14% is essential for creating a robust gluten network. Salt, typically used at 1.8 to 2.2% of the flour's weight, is not just for flavor. It also strengthens the gluten and helps to control the rate of fermentation. In a large-scale bakery, enormous spiral mixers do the heavy work. Unlike planetary mixers, a spiral mixer's hook and bowl rotate simultaneously, which kneads the dough gently and efficiently, preventing it from overheating. These powerful bowls can hold hundreds of kilograms of dough at a time. To build exceptional taste, many artisan bakeries use a pre-ferment. This could be a poolish, a wet sponge-like mixture of flour, water, and a tiny amount of yeast, or even a piece of old dough known as pâte fermentée. Matured slowly for hours or even overnight, the pre-ferment develops complex organic acids and aromatic compounds. When added to the main dough, it imparts a remarkable depth of flavor and character that cannot be rushed. The machine begins its work, but the baker watches the dough itself, not just the clock. Their experience allows them to read its visual and textural cues. As the mixer turns, two proteins in the flour, glutenin and gliadin, combine with water to form gluten. This creates an elastic network capable of trapping the carbon dioxide gas produced by the yeast. The baker watches the initially shaggy mass become smooth and elastic. To confirm it's ready, they perform a window pane test, stretching a small piece of dough until it forms a translucent film without tearing. This indicates perfect gluten development. Throughout the process, temperature is critical. The final dough temperature is targeted to be around 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the ideal environment for the yeast to begin its work at a controlled pace. Too warm, and the yeast races ahead, compromising flavor. Too cold, and fermentation becomes sluggish. The baker will even adjust the initial water temperature to compensate for ambient conditions and friction from the mixer, ensuring they hit the target every single time. This careful balance of time, temperature, and technique is what coaxes the dough to life, setting the stage for a successful fermentation. After the dough has been perfectly mixed, it needs to rest. Bulk fermentation, the first rise. Moved into a space where temperature and humidity are carefully controlled. Yeast feeds on sugars, releasing carbon dioxide, slowly expanding the dough. This stage develops flavor. Alcohols and organic compounds shape taste and aroma. Longer, cooler fermentation produces more complex, delicious bread. Instead of kneading again, bakers fold every 30 to 45 minutes. Folding equalizes temperature, strengthens gluten, and redistributes food for yeast. Handled with respect, the dough gains strength and life, vital for a beautiful open crumb. It changes before your eyes. Dense and heavy becomes softer, puffier, full of air. The room smells sweet, yeasty, and slightly alcoholic, the living scent of bread in the making. Bakers monitor closely, reading the dough for the next step. This quiet patience is the secret to memorable flavor and texture. Patience really pays off. Section 5. Precision and care. Dividing and pre-shaping the dough. A dough divider portions by weight, but must be gentle to preserve gas pockets. Each piece is checked. Precision is key, or loaves will not bake evenly. Small adjustments ensure consistent size for every loaf. This step, scaling, underpins a uniform, reliable product. After division, a short rest lets tense gluten relax. Then comes pre-shaping. The goal, a tight, smooth outer skin that traps gas and preps for final shape. A flurry of controlled efficiency from mass to measured rounds. Machines provide precision, Bakers oversee and feel to prevent overworking. This partnership scales quality to thousands of loaves. Despite the machinery, every piece is handled with care. Section 6. The baker's touch. Final shaping and artistry. Final shaping is where the true artistry of the baker comes to the forefront. A simple round becomes a baguette, a rustic boule, or a classic tin loaf. Some shapes use machines, but many signature loaves are still shaped by hand. Years of practice show in their efficient, confident motion. They gently release large bubbles, then fold, roll, and seal for each shape. Creating tension builds structure and supports oven spring and an even crumb. Skill shows in pressure, layering, and a seam that will not burst. Bannetons support the final rise and often imprint a beautiful spiral. A dozen bakers moving in sync is mesmerizing. Craft repeated at scale. They feel and adjust, something no machine can replicate. This personal touch, thousands of times a day, preserves that handcrafted feel. After the loaves have been perfectly shaped, they must rest and rise one last time, the final proof. Temperature and humidity are precisely controlled to create perfect conditions. The yeast fills the loaf with gas for a light, airy texture. Underproofed is dense and may tear. Overproofed can collapse into a gummy disc. Experienced bakers read the dough, not just the clock. Indentation springs back immediately. Needs more time. Stays completely overproofed. Springs back slowly and partially. Perfect. Some bakeries use cold retardation. Hours, sometimes overnight. Yeast slows, but bacteria build complexity. Superior taste and blistered crust. It requires careful planning and ample cold storage. It is another example of using time, not speed, to create a better product. The moment before baking is one of final artistic flourish. Perfectly proofed loaves are tipped onto trays or peels. Using a razor-sharp lame, the baker makes decisive cuts. Scoring vents expansion and becomes a signature of the bakery. Different loaves demand different patterns. Flour, egg wash, or seeds add texture and flavor. Ovens are huge and powerful. Deck ovens for radiant, even heat, or rotating rack ovens for uniformity. Baked around 230 to 240 Celsius with steam to maximize oven spring. Inside, the crust sets and sugars caramelize. Yeast gives a final push. They know by sight and time when it is perfect. A hollow tap on the bottom says it is cooked through, and the aroma is pure comfort. As soon as the loaves come out, they are not finished. Cooling lets moisture redistribute, and starch is set, otherwise the crumb is gummy. Listen, a faint crackling as the crust contracts. In big factories, spiral conveyors cool hundreds at once. Quality control is constant. They verify color, shape, oven spring, and scoring. Weights are confirmed, the crumb is inspected, are holes even, light, airy? And the most important test, taste. Anything below standard is rejected. Sandwich loaves are sliced uniformly. Automated baggers place and seal loaves securely. Labels list the product, ingredients, allergy info, and best before date. Crated loaves head to shops, cafes, and markets. The final leg to your table. We have followed the journey from a bag of flour to a finished packaged loaf. A place of balance, relentless efficiency guided by irreplaceable human skill. At every critical juncture, the human touch remains. Technology handles the heavy, repetitive work. Craft focuses on quality, flavor, and character. Bread is more than food. It is culture, community, sharing, and home. In a world of fast food, a simple, well-made loaf feels deeply honest. Good ingredients, time for flavor, and uncompromising standards keep tradition alive with modern tools. Next time you pick up an artisan loaf, notice the crust and the score. Look at the crumb when you slice. When you taste, remember the long, careful journey. Remember the hum of mixers, the quiet magic of proof, and the hands that shaped it. Appreciate the blend of ancient craft and modern ingenuity. There is nothing better than a proper loaf of bread.